Welcome to this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. Today we're talking about a lot of great spring events coming up through Suffolk Parks and Recreation. We have athletic leagues and a great spring break camp. Stay tuned. Welcome back to On the Scene. We're talking a little Suffolk Parks and Recreation today, talking about spring break camps that are coming up, as well as some athletic leagues that will be starting up this spring. To join us today to talk about these topics, we have Shantae Bynum, who of course is a recreation specialist. She'll be covering the spring break camp aspect of things, and Will Berriman, a recreation supervisor, who will cover all the sports leagues. So Shantae, we're going to start with you. Spring break is coming up pretty soon. We're looking at about halfway through April, I believe.
Yes.
And your spring break camps do correspond when Suffolk Public Schools is out, because I think you know, a lot of kids that come over from those that are part of some of the programs that are currently going on for either before or after school care.
Correct.
But let's talk about when the spring break camps are coming up, how people can register, and all the good details involved.
Okay. Spring break is going to be April the 15th through the 19th. It's going to be at Creekside Recreation Center and Mac Bend Recreation Center. Parents can come and register at any of our joint use facility centers, or they can come to one of our freestanding facilities to register as well. Okay. Registration is $65. That includes the whole week, and it includes 2 field trips as well.
Okay. Now, what are the age ranges? Are they the same at both, or do you have different groups at different locations?
No, the ages are the same for both camps.
Okay.
It's grades kindergarten through 5th grade.
Okay.
We will need a proof of residence and a proof of the child's grade just to verify their age.
Now, if you have someone's watching the program and maybe they have a child that doesn't live in the city, can non-residents of the city of Suffolk participate as well, and is maybe the fee a little higher, or how does that work?
You have to be a resident here,
okay, you do.
Or you can work for the city. If you work for the city,
got it. That'll qualify you
yes,
to do as well.
Yes.
So during the spring break camp, I know it's 5 days. What's covered? What are they going to be doing? Any field trips? Anything? I know there's usually a lot rolled into that week that they get to do.
Yeah, they have 2 field trips a week.
Okay.
It varies. It varies from each site.
Sure.
So I do know we are going skating,
okay.
and there's going to be an outdoor field trip as well.
Nice.
And then on that Friday, we have a camp carnival where all the camps come together,
gotcha.
And we have a carnival
cool.
for the kids. But Monday through Friday, on a daily basis, they're doing maybe some arts and crafts, some
right.
gym games,
sure.
Special activities that we have coming in,
okay.
and we have some guest speakers as well.
Okay. But again, I guess the key is if a parent is considering or a guardian is considering getting a child signed up, do it soon,
yes.
in case they fill up.
Yes, so we only have 50 spaces allotted, and
okay.
so once those spaces are filled,
yeah.
then that's it.
Okay. And again, the age range again was K through 5? Is that right?
Yes.
Right, okay. And what are the times on each day? How early does it start, and when does the session end each day?
From 7 to 6.
7 till 6,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
7
very
to
good.
6.
Now, can they come in at any time, or do y'all really prefer everybody to kind of start off the morning?
Yes.
So that way you kind of get all the
right.
activities in?
They can come in any given time that they prefer.
Sure.
Just doing field trips, we prefer them to come in 8 o'clock.
Correct.
That way, we can do our head counts and prepare them to, leave the facility.
Got it. Lunch included, or is that something they need to bring with them?
No, lunch is not included.
Not included, okay.
Yes.
Okay, so very good. So they can bring their lunches, stow that, and have a good time.
Yes. Now for the carnival, we
yeah.
are providing lunch for the carnival, but for the other 2 field trips, lunch is not included.
Got it. And the carnival will also be transportation to and from, in case, because is that usually held at Creekside?
Yes.
Right. So if you're at the other location, they'll bus you there and then bring you back so that you're still picked up at the same location where you were dropped off in the morning.
Correct.
Very good, very good. So again, all that's coming up April 15th through the 19th,
yes.
right? Okay, very good. Will, now we got a lot of sports leagues that will be kicking up this spring.
Yes, sir.
Kind of a couple of different sports covered. We got soccer, we have basketball, and t-ball. So let's start with t-ball.
right.
As far as what's going on there, what is the age ranges that kids can sign up for that, and kind of how that's structured?
UT ball registration's open now. It'll be open until March 8th.
Okay.
It's from 4 to 7.
Okay.
Practices will be held at Peanut Park, as well as games will also be at Peanut Park on Saturdays. Mm-hmm. Practice will be throughout the week, Monday through Thursday, and then games obviously on Saturday mornings.
Okay. Now you said registration ends, March 8th, I believe
March
you
8th.
said. So when do the actual practices and the games going to start? Do you know when it's going to kick up?
Practice will start 2 weeks later.
Okay.
And then we'll start games the first week of April.
Very good. Now, and I'll ask you in advance of some of the other ones. I know you have some adult leagues we're talking about as well, but for the youth sports, are y'all still looking for coaches as far as looking for volunteers?
We're always looking for coaches and volunteers.
And what's the best way if someone's watching, they want to volunteer with one of the things we're talking about to get involved? What's the process for that?
Just call the Parks and Rec Administration building, and just ask for myself or Meredith Mockler.
Right.
And we'll be able to set you up for the background checks and everything we need
Gotcha.
for our coaches.
Very good. So we talked about T-ball, and that's starting up pretty soon.
Yes, sir.
We also have youth outdoor soccer.
Yep.
Now, how is that structured again? Do you probably have a lot of different age ranges there, right?
Yeah, soccer goes from 4 to 13. It's the same season as with T-ball. So registrations will end March 8th. We'll start practice about 2 weeks after that, and then games will start the first week of April.
Okay.
Same thing with practices. They're Monday through Thursday.
Got it.
And then we'll have games Saturday morning. Practices for soccer will vary at locations at Bennett Creek Park or Peanut Park. And then we also have some practices out at Sleepy Hole where we actually host our games on Saturdays.
Now, the age range you mentioned for the soccer is pretty widespread. So how are they broken up? How many different divisions are
We
there?
have 4 different divisions. We have the tiny kicks, novice, peewee, and midget.
Got it. And what is it about? See, I'm trying to do my math here. About what, 2 to 3 years per age range, give or take, as far as how
Give or
it's broken
take.
up? Yeah.
Yep.
Now, do you have to be? And I should ask you this with T-ball as well. Of course, I know T-ball is kind of getting kids into the sport of baseball, and it's also a good way to break into softball as well.
Yes.
So you kind of cover both there. So that might be more for beginners. But with the soccer, do you have to have any previous soccer experience, or really any level can
No,
participate?
sir. It's purely recreation level, just to get the kids into it and get them active. And then to go on with T-ball and soccer, the prices, which I didn't include,
Sure.
are for city residents, it's $60 for soccer,
Okay.
$70 for non-residents, and then for T-ball, it's $30 across the board.
Got it. And it goes, I'm assuming, do you get like a uniform T-shirt or something?
You
that
get
comes
uniforms
with
with
that?
both sports.
Okay.
The only thing you have to get for soccer would be a mouthpiece and cleats and shin guards, but uniform, top, shorts, and socks.
What about T-ball?
T-ball is hat,
Yeah.
jersey, pants, and belt.
Okay. Very good. Very good. Now, in addition to the youth sports that we talked about, you also have adult ones coming up as well.
Yes.
We got basketball and
Softball.
softball, and both are co-ed too,
Both
right?
are co-ed.
Okay. Now, so let's talk about softball first. As far as well, we know the age range. We're talking about adults, but
Yep.
but as far as how the teams are put together, where you talk co-ed, do you try to have an even split, or what do your numbers generally work out with that?
With our adult leagues, teams, individuals put teams in. So you bring your own team in.
Gotcha. Okay.
For it, there's one registration fee for the team. For softball, it's $350 a team.
Got it.
And for basketball, it's $320 a team.
Got it.
So you just have your captain come in, pay the registration fee, and then submit the rosters to us.
Okay. Now, if you have an individual or maybe a couple people that don't have a full team, is there a way to get on like a waiting list so maybe they can get picked up in case there's slots on teams, or how do y'all typically work that?
Usually we've had a couple already start calling.
You do? Okay.
And we'll keep a list, and then once we have teams sign up, we'll say we have a waiting list if you'd like some extra players.
Got it. Now, do you have a minimum or should I say a maximum amount of teams that you can allow in each league?
Teams will take as many as we can get.
Okay. Okay. Now, and there's no divisions or that. It's you just have everybody's in one group,
One
with
division.
softball and one with the basketball
Yes,
as well.
sir.
Now, softball, where's that going to be played?
Softball will be at JFK
Okay.
and Peanut Park, and then basketball will play at Booker T.
Got it.
Recreation Center.
And with the practices, how are they structured and when the games fall out? Because those games, probably some of those are during the week,
Yeah,
right?
those games are during the week. For softball, they're usually Friday nights
Yep.
with makeup on Tuesdays, and men's or co-ed basketball is on Monday nights.
Okay.
And then we have practice times available to them, and it kind of varies on the team's work schedule.
And probably some of it first come, first serve with court or field availability,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, with limited space.
Gotcha. Now, as far as the registration, I'm not sure if it differs as far as where you can go, but you do have some online registration opportunities with
Correct.
some of these sports as well, right?
Yeah. For soccer and T-ball, we have online registration, as well as going to our rec centers. And then for base or adult co-ed softball and co-ed basketball, you have to come in and register at our administration building.
Got it. And when did you say the deadlines were for the adult registration for the softball and then the basketball?
For basketball, registration deadline's March 8th.
Okay.
And then for softball, deadline is March 29th.
Okay, so everything kind of as far as registration deadlines for all the sports we talked about is really sometime during March,
Yes,
with
sir.
everything starting up shortly thereafter, so you get things rolling from there.
Correct.
So I'd imagine as far as with Parks and Rec, I mean, you got 4 different sports all over the place,
Yes,
different
sir.
ages and everybody involved. That's got to, as far as with the staff, I mean, again, certainly y'all get some volunteers, especially with the youth leagues as far as with coaches. But again, it's a lot on the staff there to
Correct.
get everything together, organize it, keep up with the schedules and everything like that. Any postseason play for any of those sports as well?
All for soccer,
Yes.
for the 2 older age groups, we will have a postseason.
Okay.
And then we also, for both adult leagues, we'll have a postseason tournament.
Very good, very good. Well, a lot going on. Again, through Suffolk Parks and Rec, we talked about all the athletic leagues. Again, sort of almost really, if any age, there's some opportunity for you to get involved, depending upon, of course, your sport of choice. And Shantae, we'll go back. Spring break camps, again, let's talk about the dates and as far as the age range there one more time, please.
Yes, spring break camp starts April the 15th and it ends on April the 19th.
Okay.
And it's for pre-K through 5th grade.
And you don't have to be part of the before or after school programs that are already in place. You can just, any resident like we talked about, or if you're a child, you have a child that is someone who works for the city of Suffolk, I'm trying to get that right, it's available to anybody. So you don't have to be signed up, and there's no, I use the phrase grandfather, oh, if you're already part of this program, you automatically go here. It's a separate registration.
Right, correct.
Right, okay.
Correct.
All right, very good. Now, and can you do that online, or do you have to go in person to sign up because you have to provide the proof of?
Exactly.
Very good,
Yes.
very good. Okay. So again, if you'd like information on these programs we talked about with Suffolk Parks and Rec, be sure to check out their website. A lot of great information there about these programs and activities and a lot of other things that they've got going on. Really year round, you can look for a lot of great fun and excitement for really children of all ages to Suffolk Parks and Rec, and we appreciate everything that y'all and your coworkers are doing to help bring recreation and fun and fitness to the city of Suffolk. So thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. That would do it for this edition of On the Scene. I'm your host, Tim Kelly. We'll see you next time.